Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the markets one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. Just want to remind you guys real quick about our Slack chat room, which you can sign up for free, no obligation at all, inside of the real-crypto.com website. You can sign up right here for that if you're interested in our Power Hour, which is our premium service where we go over the market every single day, look at over 200 coins together. I pick out the best coins, the best setups, show them to you, and we walk through them, and also answer any questions you may have about the markets, trading in general, really anything you guys want to talk about. You can sign up for that on the website under services here. Let's get to what you guys actually want to hear about, which is this pretty cool annual Bitcoin pattern that got you sucked into this video. So during the Power Hour the other day, one of our members, Monkeytron, said, "Hey, Randy, what happens around the beginning of the year with Bitcoin? Let's look into it." I said, that's a good one. I actually don't know around the beginning of the year what happens. And so we started looking, and I started noticing this very interesting pattern that's it's a little exciting, fairly interesting, and may or may not happen again. I do want to start out this part of the analysis by saying the general disclaimer that happens with any analysis, at least legally in the world, but I'm not doing this for legal reasons. I'm doing this for actual reasons. Past performance is not indicative of future results, okay? It's just not. Anything can change at any moment in time in investing, but Bitcoin's a different animal. It is truly a repeat machine. It handles technicals very well and fractals really well, and this may continue. We'll have to see here, and we'll go into futures for Bitcoin at the end, so if you don't care about any of this garbage, if you've already looked into the years and know what they do, ignore this part. Try to skip to the end, and I've got a little prediction that a very special guest has given us at the end there. But anyway, all right, so the annual prediction, I have a spreadsheet for this, and I want to show you what I did on the spreadsheet just a little bit there. This is a spreadsheet we use for the Power Hour coins, and what we have here is all the years. This is the year ending 2012. The previous trend for 2012 was a consolidation. The new trend started, this would be in 2013, for January 8th. It puts in the low for the year, and the volume was heavy on the breakout. Volume here doesn't actually mean a whole lot. I was doing this for a study just to see if volume counted. It doesn't for this particular thing, so don't look at volume, but we're looking for the previous trend and the new trend for the year, and it happens to put in, what you're going to notice is Bitcoin puts in the high or the low for the year right after the new year. So let's take a look. Okay, so starting over here, 2012 came in. Did you guys buy your Bitcoin at $5.18? I called it. So there we go. 518 was your buy. But going into 2013, what you have is a consolidation. There's a massive cup and handle here. Very flat price action here for the whole month of December. And there's the new year. I've got the yearly lines marked on the charts here. So what you're going to notice here is that we're in a consolidation. The new year happens. We break out on January 8th. Okay, January 8th is the breakout. That's that green candle right there. That puts in the low for the year just before the breakout, and it's off. Okay, now that's 2012. Obviously, almost anything is going to be the low for the year. So then we go all through 2012, and then you sell up here at 1200, just like I told you to. And then what happens? Well, we go into another new year. So what happens in the new year? Well, before the new year here, we actually already peaked. This is already a peak. We're in a consolidation. So I put already peaked because you have a peak in 2013, a peak in 2017 that are pretty obvious, and I think that's the signal there. So you can't be too bullish after these kind of parabolic moves. So we've already peaked. The new year starts, and then we go on to form a high, and then that puts in the high for the year. Okay, you're gonna notice this theme time and time again. I probably should have put that there initially. So we have the low for the year put in there. We have the high for the year put in here. And then we go on to see 2014. 2013 ends. Now we're going into the end of the year in a bear market. Okay, this is an already peaked market. This is obviously a bear market. We're going in a bear market. The beginning of the year starts. We have our ultimate capitulation for BTC where everyone walks away. Sells all of it at 154. Did you guys buy it at 191 like I told you to? Man, it's a shame. So we put in the low for the year here. all right, in 2014. That's the low. And then we go on up, and we actually, this goes into a bull market. I have it as a bull market because we actually break out of this large consolidation. Then this breaks the trend. So earlier, for Power Hour members, I had this as a consolidation. This is actually inaccurate. Taking another look at it, I would consider this an uptrend breaking this large double top in this year-long consolidation. So this goes into an uptrend. And then if you didn't notice, we actually get shakeouts over here too. If you notice, this shakes out to the upside and then collapses. Over here, we shake to the upside and then it collapses. So interesting, we get there's a little shakeout to the upside here. And here's your shakeout to the downside because this puts in the bottom. It's a massive shakeout. Don't get me wrong. That's a capitulation. But it's a shakeout nonetheless. Here you get a little shakeout to the downside and you put in the low for the year. Right? Low for the year. Then now we're in a bull market. We're in a run up. This is a bull trend now. And now our bull trend comes in here. And what happens? We fake higher, go lower, and put in our low for the year. So depending on the trend is your low for the year. Now here we have another already peaked situation. 20K on Coinbase. There's an obvious double top here. We all know about the top at 20K. We've covered it extensively, and albeit very accurately. So here we do another situation. This one, no real fake out, but we do make a move and then reverse. So it's not quite a fake out. Could consider that a bull trap, and we put in the high for the year. So we've already peaked. We put in the high for the year. Okay. And now here we're obviously in a downtrend. So this going in, ending 2018, going into 2019, we're in a downtrend. We have January right here. Now this one, we'll go back and talk about the dates again. I missed a couple of them. This is by far, so far, your latest low. Now what I mean by that is that all these other peaks, let me pull my spreadsheet in here again. Look at this, January 8th, January 6th, January 13th, January 16th, January 10th, January 6th, February 6th. And that may actually even be incorrect. I have it as January 6th, or February 6th, but maybe like later in January. Actually, this may be the low. Maybe January 29th. Haha, I'm going to change that. We're not all perfect. So January 29th was actually your low right there. So a couple weeks later, but we still have a little move to the upside, go down, and put in the low for the year. So, ladies and gentlemen, going into 2020, if we look at this trend, if you look at the trend here, we're going in with a downtrend. There we go. So we're going in with a downtrend here. And so consolidation, when we're in a consolidation, we go higher, it puts in the low for the year. Whenever we've peaked, whenever we've gone higher for the year, or I'm sorry, lower for the year, we've already peaked. Everything else is put in a low for the year, 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 low for the year. Only the parabolic moves at the beginning of the years have been, downtrends the entire year. So interesting dichotomy. According to this particular pattern, we should probably spike higher, go lower, and put in the low for the year. At some point, put in the low for the year. So if you look at the general pattern of what Bitcoin has done over every year since 2012, I think I can get a little more data on the BLX, but I'm doing it on Bitstamp, sue me. In theory, this is what should happen. We get a little pop up, we drift lower, and we put in the low for the year. In theory, obviously nothing's set in stone, especially with trading, especially with Bitcoin, especially with life. But yeah, all things being equal, and this is taking nothing else into consideration, mind you. I'm not talking about any other indicators, RSIs, whatever indicator, hyperwave theory, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so in theory, with going into a downtrend, we should put in a low for the year and reverse higher. Whether it happens or not is a whole different set of circumstances. I do think the Bitcoin market here is a different beast than we've seen in the past. Our pattern seems to be, our patterns and our bases seem to be much longer in scale. So it may not work out that way. This may be the difference maker. Every pattern gets broken eventually. That's the other thing. Every single pattern gets broken eventually. This could be the year for this. But going forward, I do think, and I'm going to keep an eye out for, and this is what we do every day in the Power Hour. We come up with situations, we watch the markets, we discuss it, and we come up with plans of action. And some people like to bounce their ideas off of me in the community. Other people just like to listen and form their own opinions. Whatever you like to do, but yeah. So we're going to be watching for this. We're going to be analyzing because it's fairly consistent around the beginning of the year. If you notice, there's some kind of a shakeout, and you could argue this happens every month. It doesn't have to be the beginning of the year. It could happen every single month. So shakeout, reversal of the trend. This one here, shakeout, reversal of the trend. Shakeout, reversal. Well, actually, here's your shakeout, reversal of the trend. This one's like a little double shakeout. And it happens consistently. This one wasn't as aggressive, but there was a shakeout to the downside. And it took a little bit to form here. So going back, it happens time and time again. Shakeout, reversal of the trend. Shakeout, reversal of the trend. And then there's 2012, which is just flat. So that doesn't really count. But straight up flat and then a breakout move right there. So it's happened every single year. I think there could be something to it. Why that could happen, I really have no idea. If you're looking for the psychology behind a move such as this, I don't know. If this were an institutional based, like a stock or something like that, where institutions are getting involved, my assumption would be they're allocating funds or they're making early decisions. I don't know. But it is a very interesting trend that the high or the low of the year is set in the first month, usually the first 2 weeks. So that could be interesting going forward. We've been in a downtrend here basically for 6 months. Actually, it's over 6 months. This is June 24th, give or take, was the high over here. So we've been in this downtrend for 6 months, and we could get a reversal at some point that could change the trend completely. And really what we've been looking at is for that exact thing, a change in the trend. So lately, I think everyone and their mother has had this channel. We've been following this in the Power Hour since very early on, actually since both of these lows were put in here. We had a slightly different channel, and it's been morphed a little bit since we've gotten these lows confirming the channel. But we've been waiting for this to go. We haven't had extreme moves to the downside. The volume is relatively timid, even though it's a bunch of chop and there's a couple of small good trends, but for the most part, it's very choppy. But it easily could pull out of this, and we've been waiting for this trend line to break. This has been our trend line, waiting and waiting and waiting. And when you're a trader, that's what you do, is you wait and you wait. And it could take a week, it could take an hour, it could take 10 years, 5 years, but you wait until you get your signal. You really can't do a whole heck of a lot. Everyone calling every single one of these bottoms, which we look at those too every day in the Power Hour. But if you're looking for those big monster moves like this, you wait and you hawk the charts. There's a lot of smaller term trading to do, but if you want to be a true swing trader, you're only going to get 2 or 3 great trades per year. And when you break this trend line, that's the next one. Now, that being said, let's say all this falls apart and we firmly move lower. This is where I'm going to talk about our special guest star and their prediction. My 5-year-old son, James, who is the luckiest person on the planet, yes, he is, has predicted Bitcoin 1000. So that could negate any bullish analysis. And there's actually precedent for Bitcoin 1000. I'm going to end the video with this because I'm telling you, James is super, super, super lucky. I got to go back over to the Bitstamp chart. So all you guys know this. I'm pretty sure I don't have to beat a dead horse with this, but testing your prior high is usually something that occurs. I really hope this doesn't happen because this would put us in a downtrend for many years to come. But James is predicting Bitcoin 1000, and that would maybe we put in the high for the year here, and then we just continue the downtrend, which would be a change in behavior, but not necessarily a change in market cycle behavior, because Bitcoin's market cycles have been extending, and you can just see it on the chart. The market cycles just extend. Let me go to the weekly chart here. The market cycles extend the further out you go in BTC. And I'm sure everyone has seen these charts. I forgot how to pull it up. One of our community members, Mel, told me about it, and I forget it. But So you can see our market cycle, we were more firmly vertically parabolic, and then we're starting to decelerate the time, even though our exponential price appreciation is, I mean, it's not the same, obviously, because, you know, we're not able to go from 9 to 1,000. But anyway, the whole general point is that these market cycles get longer, and so this actually breaking this yearly trend here makes some sense, because we could, let's say this is a valid curl. Looks like I drew it actually fairly decently well this time. You know, we could come down here, break this, go sideways, and then bounce off of it, So wherever this trend line is, actually, we're loosely against it right now at the moment. Anyway, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, my son James has predicted Bitcoin 1,000, and he is the luckiest person alive. So if we get to Bitcoin 1,000, you can thank James and hate him all at the same time. I'll love him enough for all of us. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I thought this was pretty interesting. I just really wanted to share it with you, and so I did just that. Please hit that like button if you guys did like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please go ahead and check out our Real Crypto Power Hour if you're interested. We'd love to have you join us. It's a fun time, 7 days a week. We have a newsletter. You can see all of the recorded power hours, and it's just a fun time. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.